Miami, year 1984.
What is up, people, and welcome back. This is episode 4 of the official companion podcast to Mafia, Buffalo versus the Multiverse, book and audiobook. I am your host, Cory, and I am once again blessed to be with my man, your guy, the OG, Mr. Travis Carlson. Say what's up.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
There you go. So I kind of just want to hop right into it, right? This is episode 4, man. We've been doing this for a little bit, and I'm really excited about this episode. This is week 3 of the Bills season, and this is the Bills versus the Dolphins. For those that can't see, you should know I'm dressed in my best Miami gear, shades and all. Feel me? But for those
Little White Lotus too.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. There's a few different things this could work for. For those that can't see me, y'all see how fly I look, right? Y'all see what Travis got on. Yeah, we out here. So, man, this episode, I was wondering where you were gonna take us, where you were gonna put us. I guess I should have expected, but didn't know that we'd be going back in time, or at least back in time from today's time, to the 1980s. And then once you find that out, it is the perfect place to have Miami. Miami in the 80s is the perfect attitude.
I mean, it's in a sentence, this is the Bills going to Miami of the 80s, and they are tasked in this sort of like strange theme park, which we'll get into. Not only a little tease about what the multiverse is all about, but they're asked to perform in the hot sun and to perform like 3 times as much as their competitors, the Dolphins. And that catches up with them. So we'll explore that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Excellent. High energy recap.
I love it. Between the heat, between the references, there's a few references I want to get into of some nods you give to certain cameos of people. But yeah, man, the emotions were all over for this one. I felt the exhaustion.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job at capturing what that would feel like when you say how many games are being played or how many times they go out there. It's like exhausting, and that's got to be, if there's one word I think the team would say, that'd probably capture it.
Yeah, which is cool that you say that, because that, if we were taking a step larger, this year for the Bills is probably the word they would cap it off. It's exhausting. Like this year, just, we haven't gotten to even the hard part yet.
Yeah.
Although we've stacked up injuries, in the real world and the multiverse, but we're about to do back-to-back games and just crazy travel schedules and blizzards and tragedy all on top of each other.
Lords, ladies, mayor, distinguished guests, and of course, wounded soldiers of the brave Bison Bills. May I present to you your living embodiment of benevolent ownership, Viceroy Governor General Marquis de Pegulaville.
The Marquis, right? And this is, Pegula in the name. Pegula's own the Bills. But there, it's not just that. It's like, again, to the comedy and to the world building of it, it's like, this is the fairest queen of them all, Kim Pegula, and then
comes out.
Yeah, right. Well, Miller's like, this is the prettiest of them. You sure? Like,
I know.
And then it's not how you think, which is just hilarious.
I know. I hope that plays. Like, that is 100% a visual joke.
Yeah,
It's written for the movie version. Someday in 2035, when we're doing this, you'll finally be like, "Oh yeah, that actually plays."
I get it. Okay, yeah. So what role do you see the Pegulas playing in this versus what role you think the fans see them as? Like, do you think the role they play in the story is a mirror to how fans see them? Because that can go either way, honestly.
The Pegulas have to be referenced in a story that is talking about the Bills.
Absolutely.
And, so trying to have some fun with it, maybe embellish some things, maybe honor some things. Like, I have nothing but love and fond memories for Kim. And at this time, and what the players acknowledge is like this confusion of like, wait, why didn't Kim step out? She's always been the one who chats with us, and she's been great. And what we're given, from leadership, and maybe rightly so, is that there's no answer. Kim has just gone to us in this moment. We're not sure what's going on, and we're left to imagine there's a medical problem. And so that's kind of what the players are reacting to and sort of being a voice of the people for. I created the fictional press secretary to sort of help hold some of the negative stuff that we might associate with ownership.
Yeah.
With some, capitalistic things that don't always serve the people, or just some tone deafness that sometimes happens with big gaps between public perception or maybe what they're going for.
Right.
And there are definitely the press secretary types in this world. So
yeah.
Those little fingers from Game of Thrones or the weasels, just gotta live with them. At the same time, the Pegulas have always lived in Florida as their primary residence, and so we give them a little bit of shade for that, which we get to when the folks end up arriving to Miami.
Right.
What better place would a billionaire rather live than 1980s Miami? So.
I mean, there's a lot of fun happening there, a lot of candy of sorts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. A lot of dignity.
3 speedboats and a bulky helicopter curled between tropical saltwater and glaring sun. Synth pads, distant electronic drums, and electric guitar solos ripped like their wings.
One heck of an intro. And I was in my house on my couch cracking up, like, in the beds. I was like, but that's probably why I felt so like, oh yeah, I'm here. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I got the shirt for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. All that adds to it.
It was like the same way when I was writing it, because like when I was trying to figure, once I finally was like, okay, what are the Miami things? I found Miami Vice.
Mm-hmm.
That was a show way before my time.
Mm-hmm.
I know plenty of 80s action movies and stuff and some of the over drama.
Yeah.
But playing the theme song again, like with fresh eyes, that's basically what this is. An account of what you see. It's just like flamingos.
Yeah.
Palm trees. Bikinis, flamingos, again, the same shot again, speedboats. It's like, that's what it is.
But to the point of it being this, like, the theme parks and the draws, the thing that draws people in,
The thing that makes it fun, like the flair, like that 80s action movie culture of everything's exploding. Miami Vice, any clip, like a phone booth gets hit by a car, it's an orange fireball. Like, there's a lot of gas in that phone booth. This is our take on, like, well, what if you took that Disney action movie, or what if you took that, like, action movie, which is now called Marvel.
There you go.
What if you took that 80s action movie, which is supposed to be like that gritty, hyper masculine stuff, all about drugs, but you mixed it with The Happiest Place on Earth of Disney, and okay, maybe that's starting to get interesting.
Yeah,
you can play with that, and
you can build on that.
And that's what Fin World becomes.
They boarded a white monorail with an aqua and orange stripe, heading for Dolphin Municipal Park.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados de las puertas.
The monorail snaked over the city's river, past another exploding telephone booth, and along a canal promenade of clubs. Dawkins' jaw dropped when he looked out the window where the old municipal park should be.
Attention riders, we are now approaching the Marina Castle entrance, your gateway to the many fantasy realms of the multiverse. Welcome to Fin World.
The monorail sailed through the station and into a glistening theme park.
Now I have to point out the artwork behind that theme park is insane. So like that part of the book is 2 pages of strictly artwork, and you get to see what Fin World looks like your version of Fin World. So I, envision like the on the ground stuff, but this whole like map thing, that is crazy. It looks like if you had an old GTA, like if you played Grand Theft Auto, when you would get the booklet, you take out the page, and you'd open it up and you see the whole map. Like, that's what it feels like discovering this whole map of things. Now, we only will see one part in this story, but it seems like this whole, you really did your homework on this, you know?
Yeah. It's so fun. The thing I really wanted to do when I grew up was to like design theme parks. That was like my ultimate favorite goal, and this is still, that's why I wrote the Multiverse book.
Okay.
Still to help me achieve that someday. This was fun to sort of imagine, like, well, what if this whole NFL multiverse world wasn't a theme park and they got to be on their little trip around it? They would be seeing, you know, what to us in Disney World we know of as like Frontierland or Futureland, or just Main Street USA. Well, it's okay, that's Miami's USA. It's all Miami of Fives. Salt Marino instead of Walt Disney.
Yeah.
So Dan Marino.
I love that, yeah.
He's holding the hands of little fish. Futureland would be this Los Angeles world that we've already been in, but now they're all paper mache holograms. Again, to not give it to you all at once, like all these like little teases of like, okay, there's this or that, and you can be like, okay, all right, so we didn't mention it, but there's like a Viking land up here. That's cool, and like across the bay is, all right, the Bengal Raj, that's fun.
Yeah.
I wonder what it'll all lead to. And I didn't know at the time writing it either what those would be. I knew the Vikings and the Bengals and the Patriots are on the schedule. And I'm just like, they're coming, they're places.
Right.
That's about as much as we know so far, and Josh he's at the same speed we are in this story. Even Dawkins is trying to understand what's going on in this park, because last time they were here, it was Miami Municipal Park or something, and it wasn't super great. Because the Dolphins at this time were like billed as being a part of like this big rebuild. So I was like trying to say like, okay, so the park is all new to them and it's different.
Right.
You know, they've got, in the real world, they've got a new coach, a new quarterback, and theoretically a total new attitude, and they're going to be dangerous now. You know, and things look good. And then you'll see a quick reference to the Tom Brady scandal with the previous administration, where I guess they skirted a few laws to maybe try to solicit Tom to join the Dolphins. So that kind of gets mentioned on the monorail. That's what it's referring to. Like, you know, it's rebuilt, but it's not their money. It's Tampa Bay Buccaneers money. Like, this immortal pirate character who we don't really get to dive into, Tom Brady, so we didn't play them that year, but he's around and he's right next door and probably stashing some of his treasure through Miami and helping them rebuild, and all just a way to sort of acknowledge this actual scandal, this actual dirty money thing that was happening in Miami that month, that season.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's very clever, like to have that in there with that much depth to it.
As a reminder, smoking and consuming dignity is permitted anywhere in the park. Thirsty for plain hilarity? Toil in Frontier Gulch,
said the monorail, and 20 heads swiveled to watch as palm trees and ice cream stands revealed something new. It was drought era. Sagging sheds, wheelless wagons buried in sand, and animatronics of toothless gunslingers shooting their own feet. All of the delicious wing saloons were slandered and served something called nuggets?
So yeah, this part I saw like it's a small world type, you know what I mean? Like these rusty animatronics, and it's so insulting, like this isn't us at all.
Yeah.
But it also feeds into, obviously we have to talk about, you know, Squish the Fish, like the battle between Buffalo and the legacy of Buffalo versus Miami. And so for them to be throwing shade like that, it just fit so perfect as they're coming into this amusement park, what they're seeing.
In a way, I guess the shade that I'm pretending that they threw at us in a fictional world I created is actually me just throwing shade at Miami.
Yeah. But for some reason, that doesn't feel so shady.
It doesn't feel bad. Yeah, I don't regret it. Okay. The real drama of the real life game was just how hot it was, and that the Bills had this outsized amount of time in the sun. Off the field they were in the sun, on the field they were in the sun, and they played like 75% of the snaps. And Miami was on the sidelines in the shade with air conditioning. And so we were basically facing the weather again in a way. And we were a weak team. So the best metaphor analogy I could come up with was basically like each player, each drive that the Bills were doing would be like them trying to perform a show for the tourists in Finn World, and then Miami would come on and do a show, and it was supposed to be a battle of like who would get the big applause or the final applause.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did that make sense when you listened to it?
I think I too didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't know if there would be robot cops or if there would be, some big bad what. But when Alan was like ready for the show and they started to perform, and it was like, oh, they're hitting all the right, you know what I mean? And then you compare it to the other show, it's like, oh, he threw a fish, the fish caught the foot, like, and so you quickly realize like, oh, they're battling like with performances. Who can do the better performance? So I think it was super smart. One, to divert expectations into something different, but it still works with them having to perform, because that's what it was. And at this point, the Bills are coming from 2 big wins, so now everybody's like, okay, what are they gonna do? What you just said that did help though was painting the picture of like them being in the heat consistently versus the other team and them playing all the snaps. That you just made more clear, because how much more they were outperforming, the Dolphins. That parallel makes more sense now.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's so many plays in the sun, and our guys, even guys who are going to play the whole game, are spending like 5, 10, 15 minutes just getting IVs on the sidelines, trying to get their hydration back. But most guys aren't finishing, and we've got backups going down. Morse, our center, was out to start. His backup goes down, and you're starting to be like, how many people do we have who can snap a ball? The
one reference that stuck out is the Mirage, the butt punt. So when I was listening, I was like, I know there's significance here, but I was like, because there's a few different things, like, is it a Mirage? And then when I looked it up, I'm like, oh yeah!
What happened in real life was, like, we were right on the doorstep for the go-ahead touchdown in the 4th quarter, and we didn't get there. So Miami takes the ball on like their own 1, and Von Miller again has an epic stop and forces a 3 and out. So that's the first reason why Miller's going to be the guy to report to Josh, like, hey, don't sit down yet. Like, I gave you a second chance. Yeah. And then he tells like this crazy story about like, I brought a concussion report, and they panicked so much that they tried to hide it like up their butt or something. Which in the cocaine 80s world, I'm like, that tracks. Yeah,
that could make sense.
But if you don't know that the butt punt was a real thing, I could see that you'd be like, Travis, what are you doing right now? But
going off the rails, man.
So in real life, the punter doesn't have enough room, and when he punts it, his own blocker is like an inch over his foot, and the ball goes right into his butt and goes out the back. Not only is it a kind of a goofy thing, but it's safety. Yeah. And it puts the Bills within 2 points of winning, and we get the ball back. Yeah. So now it's game on.
Right.
And that gets us to the final drive.
Josh looked. The fuse was across the stage. And worse, the entire Miami cast, furious, rushed onto the stage from all sides. Surrounded, Dawkins could hardly stand but threw desperate punches. Josh! Get out of here. Josh kicked a sexy cop in the teeth. He broke her nose with the heel of a trick rifle. It was an MTV montage.
I think it is just so important to say how good of a job you did at portraying what Josh was doing kind of on his own. And how in the story, he's like, I'm going back out there. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is what it is. We figured it out, but I'm still going out there. And so to watch him in those in that last quarter, I mean, just if it wasn't anybody open, he was running it. You know what I mean? If somebody's getting him, he was brushing them off. Yeah. Like, he was on his own, still trying to make it happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like, that has to be in the story. And you portray that with him getting up, being tired, and like, we still going out there, I don't care. Yeah. And it's just like that I think helped, I wouldn't say birth, but that helped feed the legend of, who Josh Allen is now, because it don't matter if it's the team, it don't matter if it's me, we not giving up while everybody else is passing out and all that.
It's just as hot for him, except he's not missing a snap.
Yep.
Now, granted, he's probably not sprinting 70 yards each time.
Right,
but
right.
He is. I mean, some of those drives were 99 yards to get a touchdown. He's amazing. And that final drive, they're trying to put it all together. It feels like there's nobody around him. That's why, like, the imagery was so natural to be like, you know, Josh, here we are, the Buffalo Bills show, and he expects 50 people to be around him doing their bow, and it's just Dawkins and Mackenzie Slim. And he's like, well, where are we?
Right.
Everyone's injured, basically.
Out, yeah.
And as much as we want to give Josh love, like, I also, a powerful moment for Dawkins, you know, his right-hand man all the time, and sort of that sidekick character. You know, I know you're not a Lord of the Rings guy, but the Sam to Frodo, you know, the lieutenant to that. Maybe Harry Potter had a friend. I don't know.
Harry Potter had two best friends. He did. So the Ron to his Harry. Gotcha.
And what happened in the game that just was so cool to me is, like, Josh is basically getting sacked in one of what could be the final play, and Dawkins picks him up and, like, holds him up and keeps him upright to help him make that, like, last pass to Mackenzie Slim, Isaiah McKenzie. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna carry you, and you're gonna do it.
Yes, we gonna get this. Yeah.
There was less than 18 precious seconds before the waves smothered him and the fuse. The Miami Vice began cuffing his wrists. At 14 seconds, Mackenzie Slim called for help. At 13 seconds, Josh heard the cry and flash. He was in the winters of Kansas. No! And the injuries and injustice. Billy! A nightmare. In 9 seconds, Mackenzie Slim, with hands unfairly cuffed, used his body to divert as much water as he could from the fuse. At 3 seconds, Josh was there, somehow. Super freak. And at 1 second, Josh felt his hand on the lighter himself. At 0 seconds, he struck it. Fire! That's us. He heard his childhood self whisper to Philly. Fire brought hope. At 0 seconds.
That final rush.
Yeah, man. That build.
And, like, that's what it felt like. We had no timeouts left. So just trying to capture that, you know. I think at the time, so Josh throws it to Isaiah McKenzie. He's trying to get to the sideline, can't. And then, you know, Miami guys, you know, credit to them, are interfering with him sort of illegally to slow down getting that ball back to the line.
I can't get around you to get back to the field.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we see what you're doing.
And then we got lined up, you know, and the clock's ticking down, and it's not Morse, it's not even the backup center, it's somebody else, and they're ready to snap it, to spike it and kick the winning field goal, and the clock just hits 0, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
And then it's just this flat feeling of, like, okay, the time is over. There's like nothing else we can do.
Yeah. It was.
It's like, man, it's that close.
We could have won that game.
It's almost like in the action movie, you don't believe it when it's like, oh, he's got the bomb, he's got it.
Yeah, the wire.
The 1 second, and normally they clip the wire and it's 1 second left, and this time, like, it didn't. And,
it
like,
just didn't happen.
So to speak, the bomb went off.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, like, that's actually good writing. Good job on the Bills to, like, not do the predictable.
Right.
Okay, we were there. We saved the day. Sometimes you don't save the day, and that is cool.
That is real.
Yeah, and that's why it's fun to like be attached to real life, because you don't get an out to be like, yeah, but he should save the day.
Right.
You know, we don't. It's been too much. Miami's too big of a rival. Like,
no, it happens how it happens.
If you lose, you lose, and yeah.
I think they said this was the first win that Miami got on Buffalo since like 2018 at the time.
Yeah.
What do we have up next? Is it the Ravens?
The Ravens are next in Miami.
Hopefully that's Miami.
Yeah,
they were in Baltimore?
So the Ravens are coming up next. Which, what do you think is going to happen?
With the Ravens, I want to say something with, like, for some reason I want to say something with, like, pirate ships, but that obviously would have to be, like, Buccaneers territory. So maybe, like some, like...
Purple birds?
Yeah, so but my mind's going like to the Crow, but obviously a crow is not a raven, but like something like that. Like I'm thinking maybe something emo or something like that.
Yeah.
But Jackson is, I mean, he's a beast. I feel like Jackson is very similar to Alan, so maybe it'll be some doppelganger type stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
That's good.
And with that, I think we've reached the conclusion of this episode, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening in. I've been your host, Cory, with my man, your man, Travis Carlson.
Thanks, everybody.
And we will see you next time for episode 5 at the Ravens.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.